It was a different transition. It was a hard transition because you'd come back after taking care of patients who have gunshot wounds or shrapnel wounds or infectious disease and children dying from commonly prevented things that over here, it just doesn't happen. And it took a long time, and I was, it was a difficult transition. And finally, one of the docs that I worked with pulled me aside and said, "You have to change. You have to revert back to who you were, or you have to modify your approach to the patients now." Because it was the context was such that you're here because you've had back pain for 6 months, and over here you've got people who don't have access to health care, and are dying because of simple things, those kind of things that would just drive me crazy. And occasionally I would, react to patients. And part of that was was a degree of PTSD, which I can now look back and see. And that was driven home. Certainly, the degree of PTSD became apparent after I'd come back from Somalia. And I had been back, and it was right around the 4th of July, and I was leaving work one night, and as I drove out, somebody set off a string of fireworks and firecrackers. And I'm ducking and driving up onto the sidewalk to see where the shooting's coming from, because that's what I was exposed to living in these environments. Certainly with MSF, they had told us that you're going to encounter this, but it's like being in the military too. It's unless somebody sits you down and says, "Yes, you will have a debrief here." Okay, not that it's optional. No, you've been in a stressful environment. We need to have you come back and actually talk to somebody about working in this environment, because my recollection was that I just wanted to go home. My fiance at the time, she was waiting for me, and I didn't want to talk to anyone else. I just wanted to be home, and so that can wait. But it flared up,